Welcome, Kumar Swami, Shivoham, and welcome. The others who are on the call, Samita, Shivoham, Reena, Rajan, Shivoham, and welcome. Sudeep Bhargava, Sagairaj, Gautam, Ashok, Nichani, Siva, Rajaratnam, Bridget, Prabhakar, Ajitek, Karthik, Bisham, and the rest of you. I cannot see you live, but there are many of you who are on the call, and I welcome all of you to the call. Today, we are going to be talking about the Enlightenment Life Grid, which is basically a journey of enlightenment. And all of you are on this call, obviously, because in some way or the other, you are interested in the subject of enlightenment. And this subject of enlightenment is a blessing. It's not that anybody and everybody can understand enlightenment, can be on this path. It is actually rare to be on this journey. So you must understand that being on this journey itself means that you are 1 out of 100. If you talk to 100 people about enlightenment, they will say, "Kya baat karta hai?" Huh? They will ask you what is the latest model of a gadget, movie, what is happening in restaurants, shopping malls, entertainment. But enlightenment is not the focus for the majority of the world. Therefore, today we are going to start a journey on the enlightenment grid, a grid where those who are on this call already know that you have passed the basic level where you're ignorant about enlightenment. You don't know. So those of you who are on that level, whichever level you may be, you know that there are some people who, you talk about enlightenment, they will talk about religion. They may talk about God. So you are already aware about some people who are ignorant, and you're already on a quest. Now, how much of this knowledge you have attained, how much have you gone into this journey, is the grid we will talk about today. So with that note, we are getting on to the first step on the grid. We are going to give you a grid, which is going to be an x-axis and a y-axis. At the end of this session, you must take this grid, and on the vertical axis, on the y-axis, it starts with 0, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, goes upwards. On the x-axis, you try to use an evaluation method, a self-evaluation method, where you constantly check where are you on the journey. Every month, you try to evaluate to see whether you are moving forward or you're not moving forward. So with that note, I'm starting the explanation of the enlightenment grid. So at zero, at level 0, where there are some people who are at the point of X and Y meeting at the grid here, at this point, there are some people at the bottom. They have no idea about enlightenment. They've heard about something called enlightenment, but what is enlightenment? What are you talking about? Kya hai enlightenment? Somebody told them, come on Zoom call, hear something, you will learn something. Somebody told them, go on Talash. They have no clue. They have no clue about enlightenment. I love the story of the bird. Kumar Swami, remember the story of the bird? Kumar Swami will say, how many stories you're telling, how to remember all the stories. So the story of, I love this story. I remember doing a recording when I was in Finland. So there's a bird, a small little bird. It comes and it sees a bird in a mirror. And it says, wow, what a beautiful bird. It falls in love with the bird. So just like anybody would, so it goes and kisses the bird. It's trying to peck at the bird, but it's not able to touch the bird. So it comes back. It tries to call the bird. Nothing happens. So the bird is very intelligent. Somehow the bird is intelligent. It goes behind the mirror. It comes from behind the mirror and says, there's no bird. There is no bird. So it's scared. Quickly it comes back in the front. Ah, my bird is here. The bird is there in the mirror. So 2-3 times the bird goes front, back, front, back. What are we trying to talk about? This bird was in love with the bird in the mirror. And we human beings, we don't realize. Some of us are like this bird. We are in love with our own reflection. We are in love with something which is not possible to love. A bird can be ignorant, but not you and me. You and me have been given an intellect, correct? You look at the bird kissing the bird in the mirror, you may laugh. But this makes us realize that bird doesn't know the meaning of reflection. That bird thinks it's another bird, but it's not. So, my dear friends, at level 0, we are ignorant. We are ignorant. And when we go to level 10, you become aware of your ignorance. At level 10, you become aware. Oh, you realize there is something called ignorance. What is this ignorance? What we, in the spiritual terms, we call avidya. I mean, a person like Bridget likes to learn the Indian terms. So, Bridget, avidya means ignorance. Avidya. So, some people, they are aware of their ignorance. They want to realize the truth. When somebody tells them, that God is somewhere in heaven and we will go to God one day, it doesn't sound good to them. And if somebody tells them, I'm not sure if Yoga Narasimhan is here. If somebody tells Yoga Narasimhan that, the soul will be hanging around for 13 days and 15 days, and then after 15 days, the soul will go out and go forward. So Yoga Narasimhan says, no, this doesn't sound right to me. What is this you're talking about? So what I share with you is that at 10, you become aware, you become conscious of your ignorance, and you want to realize the truth. This is just like, I don't know if you, Ashok Chotwani, the story of the beggar, the ignorant beggar, remember? There was an ignorant beggar who was blind. So he used to sit down there and he used to beg, Prabhu, aapka bhala karenge, please help me. I am a blind beggar. Please help me. People used to, he had a hat, he kept a topi, and people used to throw money in the topi. So one day, a man who used to come back from work every night, he saw this. What did he see? This man, the beggar, would put his hands like this and pick up all the coins. Carefully, he pick up every single coin. And then all the dirty papers and all that dirty, he would throw all the dirty papers. One day, a man came and told him, hello, you're taking all the coins, but do you know these papers are notes? You're throwing all the notes. And the ignorant, blind beggar, he said, what is this I'm doing? And then he told him, notes are the higher, more than coins. You must collect the notes. And he showed him how to identify a note. He made him touch the note and the size of the note. And he made him understand these are notes. And from that day onwards, the ignorant, blind beggar, he learned. He realized his ignorance. So some of us who realize our ignorance, realize that we are ignorant, we move from 0 to 10. But that's just the beginning. Just the beginning. Then we have to go from 10 to 20. How do you go to 20? You start a quest. Suppose you come to realize, oh, one day I will die. Oh, one day I will die. But what happens? People will burn my body. What happens? I am ignorant. I don't know. What should I do? One day this body is going to die. At level 20, you go for a talash. This is what my guru called it. My guru called it talash. He asked me to go on a talash. Talash means quest. you go on a quest. You go on a quest to realize the truth. So this is what happens at level 20. At level 20, you have passed level 0, ignorance. 10, you are aware of ignorance. At level 20, you go on a quest to seek meaning of life, purpose of life. Who is God? What happens at death? One day I will die. But if I die, then where will I go? What will happen to me? Will I be burned? Will I feel the pain? So this is what happens when you go on a quest, when you go on a talash, you search for the meaning. You want happiness. You search, what is the meaning of happiness? What is true happiness? How can I be happy? You realize that it's not only money that can give you happiness. You realize that happiness is something beyond products and people and places. So you move forward on the journey. How? You cross 20. And then you realize that there is something bigger than your life that you're leading. Oh, you're just living every day. Every day morning you wake up, you get up, you brush your teeth, you wash your face, you get ready, you start your day. Before you know it, the day is over. So at 20, you move forward. When my guru taught me to go on a talash, I wrote in a few words. What did I write? I wrote, तलाश जगाई प्रभु तूने, जिज्ञासु बनाया तूने, मन मेरा यूं ही था भटकता, मन राह पे लाया प्रभु तूने, संसार में फंसा प्रभु था मैं, सच का एहसास मुझे दिलाया तूने, तन मन में नहीं जानू मैं तो, एहसास हो गया आत्मा में, कृपा तेरी है मुझ पे ये आभारी हूँ प्रभु मैं, आभारी इतना प्रभु मैं, शब्दों से बयां ना करूं मैं. Are you grateful to God? Are you great, my dear friends? Do you know coming on this call is a matter of great privilege and grace? How many people are lucky to come on this call and come on this call every day? Some people tell me, I wish I can come on this call every day, but I can't. Something pulls me. I have some urgent work, some problem. I have got to some duty, some responsibility, some financial issue. I cannot come on the call. I want to come on the call. I can't come on this call. So it's not easy. But then those who are climbing up the grid, ignorant, aware of ignorance, talash, they move on to level 30. They gain the basic knowledge. What is the basic knowledge? If you want, somebody asked me, what is spirituality? It's very clear. Spirituality is the science of the spirit. What is spirituality? It is the science of the spirit. What does it mean? I am not the body. I am not the mind. I am the divine spirit or the soul. This is the basic knowledge at 30. But why is it only 30? It's only 30 because it's only knowledge. It's not realization. Anybody can gain this knowledge. Anybody listening can gain this knowledge. Anybody can read a book and gain the knowledge. Anybody can listen to a talk, some speaker, some master talking and gain this knowledge. What's so great? What's so great? Oh, I am not the body. I am not the mind. I am not the ego. I am the soul. Kya problem hai? A child can repeat it. 4th standard child can repeat it. I can tell you many children watching this show with their parents will repeat, I am not body and mind, I am soul. I am not body and mind, I am soul. Kya problem hai? What's the big deal? But we don't want knowledge. Therefore, it's only 30. The one who goes forward beyond the knowledge, what do they realize? They realize that they are caught. They realize that they are caught in their own body, mind, ego complex. They are caught. If somebody tells them, I'm the divine soul, they say, but how to realize that? They ask the question, I don't know how to realize. Is there a way to realize that I am the divine soul? Then they hear some song. The song says, Atma kya kare tan man mein fasa, अहंकार ये कहे मैं ही मैं हूं ना, एहसास जो हुआ मुझे फिर भी मैं फंसा, आत्मा मैं हूं पर तन मन जैसे जीता, तू बचा मुझको मैं हूं फंसा, तुझ बिन मैं क्या करूं कुछ भी ना, तन मन अहंकार नहीं जानू मैं आत्मा, पर इस युद्ध में मैं फंसा, आके तू बचा, मैं तो ये तन मन ना हूं ना मैं अहंकार, सच में तो मैं जानू मैं आत्मा और कुछ ना, एहसास हुआ फिर भी फंसा, एक युद्ध मेरे अंदर लड़ता मैं हमेशा. People have got a war inside. People who realize or get to the knowledge, oh, I am not body, mind, ego, but how to know it? I am the soul. How to realize? The mind says, no, no, this is nonsense. The mind says the soul will take rebirth. No, soul cannot take rebirth. We had this discussion so many times. How to go beyond the mind, how to go beyond the ego. Those who get to level 40, they get a guru. Guru. The guru takes you from gu, darkness, to ru, light. At 40, in schools, 40 is pass mark. Correct? 40 on 100. So this is the turning point. Pass mark. You're past the journey from material world to enlightenment world. Then you are, with the help of a guru, you are able to solve any problem. If you have the right guru, I had the right guru, I would take any problem to my guru. He found a solution. Any problem. Any problem. He would show me the solution. So when you have a guru, you are able to move forward. One day a man had a guru. I don't know if you remember this story. Ajit, you remember this story? One man had a guru and that man died. Old man, he had a guru and he died. And this guru came to see. When he came to see, the children were fighting. What are the children fighting? The children were fighting because the man owned 19 camels. He owned 19 camels and he said, 50% should go to my son. 50% of the camels should go to my son. 25%, 1/4 to my daughter. And 1/5 to my servant. So they started arguing. The son, the daughter, the servant. The cremation was over. The body had gone. But now they came back and they said, how to divide these camels? Because they wanted to move on their life. Because if you divide 19 camels 50%, it's 9.5 camels. So they're saying, why did my father do such a way that I have to cut the camel in half? How can I do? And if I cut the camel in half, then how will I divide the balance 9.5 camels? 1/4. 1/4 means what? Huh? About 4 and 3, 4.75. So the guru came. The guru himself came on a camel. He said, don't worry. When you want to realize the answer, you just pray. And he said a small prayer. Come on, let's all get together. And he just prayed. And he told them, okay, my camel also is there. You add my camel also. So my camel he added. So 19 plus 1, it became 20 camels. Now he told the son, how much you want? Son said half. 20. He said 19, take my camel also. Guru said, take my camel. So 20 divided half, 10 camels. He told the son, take 10 camels. Go. He told the daughter, 1/4. How many you want? The daughter said 5. I'm very happy because all are getting more. Because instead of 19 camels, Guru also gave his camel. So the daughter said, I want 25%. I want 5. So take your 5 and go. The servant, how many you want? I want 1/4. 1/4 means how many? 1/5. 1/5 means 4. Take 4 and go. So one took 10, one took 5, one took 4. They took 19. The Guru had his camel there only. The Guru sat on his camel and he walked out. How did the Guru find a solution? Did you understand? How did the Guru find solution of dividing 19 camels into half? The Guru is a person who knows the solution to the problem. The Guru is a person who is able to understand. The Guru just brought his camel and said, you take my camel. In reality, the Guru didn't give the camel. He just put the camel here. But then, because of the Guru's intelligence, the Guru knows, the Guru is wise, and the Guru makes us realize, right? Because he is wise, he makes us realize. So you move on beyond, when you have a Guru, the Guru takes you to level 50. At level 50, you ask, investigate, you realize. You ask questions. You ask questions, where is God? Who is God? How many gods? You ask questions. Where is heaven? What happens at birth? What happens at death? You ask questions. You don't believe. If somebody says Santa Claus will come on Christmas and give gifts, you don't believe. If somebody says Lord Shiva cut his son's head and put elephant head, you don't accept it. You ask questions, you investigate, and you realize the truth. This is point 50. Most of you have crossed this point. Most of you come to the session every day and you ask questions. Correct? Why do you come and ask questions? You come and ask questions because you want to realize the truth. You want to realize the truth. You ask questions, you investigate. And this is the turning point again. Because at this point, you overcome ignorance. You overcome ignorance and you move towards what is called enlightenment. Normally, we believe stories. Send a message to Manish. We believe stories and we grow up with fairy tales. So I tell, in one of my songs, I told people, दुनिया की बातें यूं ही सुन के मिथ्य में हम डूबते हैं ओ प्रश्न नहीं पूछते एहसास ना होता सच का एहसास नहीं करते मन के ख्यालों में हम डूबते विवेक को हम ना जगाते अविद्या में डूबते मुसीबतों में डूबते. What is this called? Bridget, I told you. घोर अविद्या, घोर अविद्या के कारण दुख सहना. In this world, we are all suffering. Have you stopped to ask question why we are suffering? Have you stopped to ask the question, who is suffering? Who is suffering? The one who goes on the quest asks the question, who is suffering? And they say, the body, I am not the body. The mind, oh, I am not the mind. The ego, I am not the ego. When you realize, I am not the body, I am not the mind, I am not the ego. When you realize the body, mind, and ego is suffering, then what happens? You are liberated. You are liberated from the triple suffering of body, mind, and ego. This is the ultimate challenge. And this takes you over level 50 to level 60. At level 60, what do you realize? You realize I am not the body. You realize. How do you realize? You contemplate. The Guru tells you, try to study your birth. How are you born? Then what do? You contemplate. The day I was born was not my birthday. You contemplate. I was alive before. I was alive 9 months before, 40 weeks, 280 days before my birthday. I was born. I was conceived as a zygote. That was my beginning. Do we realize that? We don't realize it. Because we don't realize, we suffer. We must realize that I am in reality that energy. I am that energy that was born 9 months before. How many of us realize? Very few, very few of us realize that I am not this body and mind. I am the divine soul that was born 9 months before. It's not easy to realize this. We are scared of death. Many of us are scared of death. What happens at death? The body dies. But then the body dies. But I go, I leave the body and go. That's why my family will burn the body. How can I be the body which is burnt, which is destroyed, which is buried? So you realize this at 60 and you move on to 70. At 70, you transcend the mind and you let go of the ego. You don't let your mind make you a monkey. You try to silence the monkey mind. And when you silence the monkey mind, you tame it. You tame the monkey mind. You transcend the ego. The mind creates so much noise. You can't hear the divine voice. Correct? So you move beyond. You move beyond the mind and the ego at 70. And then at 70, how do you transcend the ego? A good thing to do is learn the story of the crow. You know, there was a crow, and the crow used to always find a problem. The eagles are chasing the crow. So the crow went to the master crow. It's a story. The crow went to the master crow and told, Master crow, eagles are chasing. The master crow told the crow, eagles are not chasing you. You are holding a piece of meat in your mouth, in your beak. Because you're holding the piece of meat and you're flying, the eagles are chasing the meat. Drop the meat, drop it, and the eagle will stop chasing you. So they dropped it, the crows dropped the meat, and they were free from the eagles. What is the crows teaching us? The crow is telling us to drop our ego. Because we are holding on to our ego, we suffer. How to? Many of us don't realize. Many people come to me and say, I'm suffering a lot. Tell me how to stop suffering. So you're holding on to the ego. You cannot stop suffering because I. Constantly there is the ego saying I. You're holding on to the ego. Stop holding on to the ego, and then you be free from a lot of suffering. So that is moving from level 70 to level 80. Level 80 is a very high level. Realization, I am the divine soul. This is what I call you graduate. A point of aha. A point of aha. Aha means a point where you realize, I am the divine soul. You reach that point of enlightenment. Not yet enlightenment, point of realization, where you're very close to liberation, unification, moksha. You see, the point is this. So the point is that we human beings, we don't realize that we are not the body, not the mind, not the ego. We don't realize we are the divine soul. We don't realize that this is just a drama. We don't realize. But at 80, I think I've told you the story many times of the 10 friends who were swimming across a river. I'm not sure how many of you remember this. 10 friends who were swimming across a river. You remember? When they crossed the river, they started crying. Crying, 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 crying. They thought there are only 9. One died. They're all crying. Oh, only 9, only 9. Crying, crying, crying. One wise man came. Why are you crying? No, we 10 friends came, crossed the river, we swam. One friend died. So he said, who's the friend? Now they are trying to find out who's the friend. They're trying to call names. Raju, Sham, Krishna. They are calling names. Who's the friend who died? Then the man, he counted. He said, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And then he took the hand and he pointed. He said, you are the 10. They were not counting themselves. 9 plus you, 10. So then they said, no, wait. So then they counted 1, 2, he made them stand in a line. Then he counted 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I am the 10th man. Yeah, we are 10. Another person counted 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I am the 10th man. Oh, no, we are 10. What did they realize? They realized that they were there. This is called realization, right? Realization. They were crying. Why they were crying? Out of ignorance. When you realize the truth, then you go from 80 to 90. That is the state of enlightenment. You realize everything. A person who is enlightened has no misery, no sorrow, no unhappiness. A person is free from physical suffering of the body. The body will suffer. The body will have pain. The person will not suffer who is enlightened. The person will not suffer the misery of the mind. The mind will create fear, worry, but the person will not suffer. Then ego. The ego will try to make you angry. Enlightened person will not get angry. This is reaching that level of 90. Remember, we spoke about 100 jigsaw puzzle pieces. All the pieces you put together, ting tong, you see the picture. The light comes on. But enlightenment is not for everybody. You may have the knowledge, but it is not enlightenment. Many people come and tell me, I am enlightened. I have knowledge of enlightenment. Knowledge is not enlightenment. What is enlightenment? Enlightenment is a transformation. You will be completely transformed. You will experience a metamorphosis. You were crawling like a worm. Now you're flying like a butterfly. The caterpillar, the worm, has gone through metamorphosis. So at 90, you go through a metamorphosis. My dear friends, finally, on the grid, those who reach 100, those who reach level 100 on the grid, they reach what is called God realization. They reach that state of Sat Chit Anand. Sat Chit Anand, or God realization, is you see God everywhere. You experience God in everything. Everything beautiful is God. But this is not easy, very difficult. But this state of God realization is a state where you are liberated from all suffering. You reach that state of enlightenment. You reach that state of self-realization, and you cross the state of self-realization and reach that state of God realization. Then what happens? Then you become a yogi. You become a yogi. And what do you feel? You feel God is everywhere. Prabhu to hai har jagah. Remember I told you? हर शय में वो है कोई जगह ना जहां वो नहीं है कन कन में वो है उसके बिन कुछ नहीं है सब कुछ वही है सब कुछ वही है फूल में प्रभु है फल में भी प्रभु है मिठास में प्रभु है सुगंध भी वही है बागों के जादू में प्रभु ही समा है सब कुछ वही है सब कुछ वही है. You know the song, right? then you must be able to say, आनंद प्रभु है, कुमार स्वामी प्रभु है, राजन प्रभु है, सुदीप भी वही है, ब्रिजेट क्यूबेक में तो प्रभु ही प्रभु है, कोमल प्रभु है, शिवा भी वही है, अशोक में प्रभु है, हितकारी प्रभु है, अशोक में प्रभु है, अजितेक भी वही है, दत्तात्रेय भी गाड़ी में चलाता प्रभु है, रीना वही है, संगम वही है, वीणा में प्रभु है, समिता में प्रभु है, गिरीश भी प्रभु है, अम्मा भी वही है, गौतम भी प्रभु है, विषम भी वही है, रुचिका में प्रभु है, कार्तिक भी वही है. So you see God in one and all. You can go on and on. बादल में प्रभु है, आसमां में वही है, पहाड़ में प्रभु है, वृक्ष में भी वही है, फूल में प्रभु है, फल में भी वही है, सब कुछ वही है, सब कुछ वही है, सब कुछ. This when you realize सब कुछ वही है, this is God realization. This is that state of complete enlightenment. My dear friends, don't fool yourself into believing you are enlightened. Walk the path. Knowledge of the truth is not yet realization. The signs of an enlightened being is you must be free from the triple suffering. If you are an enlightened being, then you are free from the triple suffering and you experience God in everything, then you have reached level 100 on the enlightenment grid. My goal is to help you to get to 100 on this journey of enlightenment. Therefore, next week, my goal is how to move forward on the journey of enlightenment. Next week, I would like to guide you on how to move forward. What is holding you back, right? How to move forward and ultimately reach that path of enlightenment. If there are any questions, we are going to move on to questions now. I'd like to ask you if there are questions.
Bala Murugan type.
Bala? So what is the okay, I hope. So my friends, we have got the first question from Bala Murugan. Is there any different type of karma? How can same define? Karma is good karma and bad karma. So I don't know, Bala Murugan, what type of karma you are referring to. Is there any different kind of karma? Yes, there is good karma if you do good karma, and there is bad karma. So Bala Murugan, if you have any specific question on the karma, I'm happy to answer your question. In the meanwhile, Jyotri is asking me, today I don't want any answers. I request you to give me all the questions whose answer I should know and realize you attain the state of enlightenment. As well as please send me a PDF of your book, Life Manual. PDF, Jyotri, you have to just message on the number The number is 98451555555, and we will send you the book immediately. So Jyotri is saying, I don't want answers. I want the questions. I want the questions. The questions are basically two questions, Jyotri, to start with. I'm giving you first two questions. Question one, who am I in reality? And question two, why am I here? Question one, who am I in reality? And question two, why am I here? With these two questions, you would be able to move rapidly forward on this journey of enlightenment. So next question, apart from Jyotri, so I've given you two important questions. Next question is
Bridget.
Bridget. Are you sending me Bridget's question? So Bridget is asking us a question. If I was mind and ego that came back, I was born long before. Yes, you were born. You were born in this life. You were born, before your birthday, 9 months before that you were born. You realize that, right? But that mind and ego, which was born as became Bridget.
Long before.
It was alive before.
Yeah.
Otherwise, how were you born? Otherwise, there was no reason for you to be born. It is because of karma that we are born.
Yes, sir. It's there.
So
It's because
therefore,
of this I am here.
because of
But
this, you are.
I have had many probably a life before. I am the karma and I was the karma.
So you
You
obviously,
understand what I try to explain?
yes, what you're asking is whether you want to be sure.
So my birthday is not 9 months before I became something like human. I have always been soul.
Living. So yes, so the point is that you were alive, and that's why you have come now. So you had a birth before. So there is no doubt
Yeah.
about that. There is no doubt about that. Some people ask me the question, Richard. Some people are asking this question: what about people who God sends for the first time to the world, who were not alive before? Now we don't know. If that is the case, it may be possible that God made you as his first creation. We actually don't know this, because the question they ask is this:
Mhm.
how is the population going from 6 billion to 7 billion to 8 billion? So one option is animals and insects are coming back to human beings. But then it's very difficult for man to comprehend how this is happening. Therefore, this is called, the answer to this is Maya. Maya means it's all an illusion. Maya means it's an illusion. Okay, any more questions?
Reena.
Veena?
Reena.
Reena, is the last question? Okay, Reena, your question? She's typed it. Is there a grid visual to refer to? Yes, we will send you the grid visual, a chart. We will be sending it to you one by one, and we will send you this visual soon. We are just fine-tuning the visual before we send it to you. Next question. Gautam.
Shiva Mer.
Yeah, we'll close the last question. So this is the last question for today. We are ending for some unfortunate circumstances, but the last question for today. Yes, please.
Shiva Mer.
Shivoham.
Actually, I want to know about realization and enlightenment. Suppose I'm going in the car. I met with an accident, so my hands and legs got fractured. So that time I realized that the body is suffering. I'm not suffering. So after a few days, I recover. So I have to remember that I am not this body, or how to.
No. when you see, you're trying to experience realization through knowledge. Right? So
Okay.
you have the knowledge. You're trying to make this knowledge realization and understand what you will. You can't do it. You will suffer. You will suffer the pain of the body till you realize I am not the body. Otherwise, everybody will say, I know I am not the body. I will not suffer. No, Gautam, it doesn't work like that. Till you don't realize I am not the body, you will continue to suffer. Okay. So with that
Thank
note,
you.
my dear friends, there is some compelling reason for me to close answers today. So rest of the question and answers, we will, with your permission, we will take them tomorrow. Shivoham and God bless.